Welcome back to Al-Asad. My name is Issa Martel, and I went down some rabbit hole on YouTube and found some video of some guy telling us how to use a shamshir or a killage, I believe he had in the video. He was called wrist exercise, and so it had 18,000 views. It was a YouTube short, so I decided to watch it, check it out, and see maybe he was doing something kind of cool. Unfortunately, he wasn't. And the fact that it had so many views and it has like 430 some likes, I feel that I need to talk about this. Here's a picture of the screenshot of what I'm about to talk about. So you can see how he was holding his killage. In the beginning of the video, the video has no speaking in it. You can go check it out. I don't know this guy. He randomly appeared on the algorithm or whatever. There's no speaking in it. The video is only like less than 30 seconds long, I believe. But he starts by holding his killage like this. He like shakes his head like, no, that's not correct or something. Then puts his thumb up like this. And is like, yes, and he's giving the thumbs up, which is the screenshot that I captured there. Then he proceeds to do this, like twirling the sword around and doing his wrist exercise or training or whatever, strength training for his wrist. So the reason he's holding his thumb out like this is that when you do a horizontal strike this way with your palm down in either hand, whichever hand you're doing, if you don't have sufficient strength in your arm, or if you're getting tired or something, putting your thumb out like this really relieves the weight of the blade and helps you keep the blade horizontal, like a tabletop. The problem with that is that this is a very bad habit to get into because it's extremely dangerous for your thumb to be out like that. The reason that there's a guard on your sword is to protect your hand. So as soon as you start putting parts of your hand above this guard here, you're opening up that part of your hand to become injured. You can see on this is one, I have two shamshirs with identical blades. This is the one I had longest. I got another one to match it. That's later on. But you can see, let's see if you can see these marks here. That is from sword strikes and blocking like this, doom, right? That's the sword coming right there. So you can see it's not deflecting like most people will with your sword, or the sword came down in a bind or something and you blocked or something like this. You can see them on this other side too. Let's see, sorry. You can see here, right? So it misses my thumb. If my thumb was up in any way like this, that has the potential of hitting my thumb. Especially, what if my thumb was just like this? Right there, it would have clipped it no matter what. Even if my thumb was up, it has the potential of coming across and hitting my thumb. When your thumb is like this, even if it came like this, I don't remember which strikes caused these dents, but clearly my hand wasn't injured in any way or anything. And I wear gauntlets, and my gauntlets are steel. So even if it did hit my gauntlet, clearly nothing happened to my hand. When your hand is like this, it's being protected by both the crossguard of your sword and whatever kind of hand protection you have. You have to also realize that if your thumb is up like this, if you were wearing hand protection, like bazoo bands or gauntlets or something, even if you had like modern day HEMA, like leather gloves or hardened leather kind of hand protection, this part of your hand is not protected, right? The protection is on the outside of your hand here, right? So as soon as you put your thumb up like this is exposed. So even that same strike that hit here, if it would curve around, it would cut my hand or damage my thumb or something like this, because my thumb is exposed and it's not being protected by whatever kind of hand protection or anything I have. This like really bothers me when I see a video like this, is particularly with so many views and so many likes, because you can now see clearly how that the person is essentially showing a technique that is bad. And I'm not saying this in any way to belittle or demean the person or anything like that, but you know, this is what happens on the internet. You know, someone does some twirly, cool-looking thing, and 18,000 people watch it, and hundreds of people like it. You know, the ironic thing about this particular video, like I said, it was called it was, I think, designed to be like a wrist strengthening exercise, and you know, you're cheating the exercise by putting your thumb out like this to help you do the move. But there's various ways to hold your sword and position your thumb on your hand, none of which go above the guard like that. You can have your thumb this way. Sometimes people do this if they're thrusting, particularly like an overhand thrust. You can also like not always hold this, but like switch to this type of grip. Depending how the sword is moving through the air, your hand should naturally kind of rotate around the sword, and you can position your thumb in different ways as well. All that is fine and dandy. Just keep your thumb below this line here. Another thing that we don't ever really talk about is like disarming people and how the mechanics of like disarming works. So aside from someone just bashing your hand and you're like, and let go of your sword, if you're holding like your sword like this with your thumb this way, however you're positioning it, the sword is locked into your hand here. You're not gonna like pretty much get it out of your hand. As soon as you move your thumb up like this, now this gap is right here, right? So from this position, so the move he was doing was this move here. So from here, if someone was to hit or bind the sword in some way, the sword just has to rotate like this, and now it's disarmed, right? Because that's not being blocked. And same with this way here, right? So if you're like fighting or doing moves like this, like the sword, look, it rotates and comes right out, right? Worse would be if it rotated the other way, because now it's applying pressure to your thumb, which could break it or injure it in some manner, and at the same time it can like pop out. If it hits you hard enough this way that it's gonna knock your thumb out, you're gonna drop the sword. So just keep that in mind. It's not a very good place for your thumb to be. So if you got any benefit out of that and you made it this far in the video, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Until next time, have a good night.